guys. Welcome. I'm glad you guys chose to come in and hear about our Workforce Center youth program. My name's Stacy Cotton, and I'm the youth program supervisor. I office out of Wichita, but I do have a case manager right here in El Dorado that operates a full caseload right here and is available to answer your questions anytime. So just a quick few things about our Workforce Center. We do cover 6 counties. So we have offices in Wichita, El Dorado, Winfield, and Wellington. But we also serve Kingman County as well. And I think I left one off, but it doesn't really matter much. But anyway, so our youth program is federally funded by law, and the law is called the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And we are, included in all that is also partnerships with DCF. So we all kind of run similar programs in a way, but we can partner, provide services that might get missed. We can split funding. There's a lot of different ways that we all work together in this to create a system-wide opportunity for people of all ages. So our program, everything we do is free because, like I said, it's all operated through federal law. We serve ages 16 to 24, and currently we're mostly serving all out-of-school youth. So by out-of-school youth, what I mean by that is those that have either graduated and have disconnected from the USD system, or have dropped out and signed disclaimers stating that they've dropped out, or got to the age where they could drop out legally and just didn't go back to school. So we catch a lot of those wayward youth that struggled in school, didn't do well with the social aspects, those kind of things, or those that have graduated high school and have kind of failed to launch, aren't sure what they're going to do with their lives, don't really have a career path yet. So those are the youth that we typically serve in all of our counties. So we're always looking for youth with barriers to education, and most importantly, employment. And those two kind of go hand in hand. It's hard to find those good paying jobs or jobs that are, help you support yourself by yourself. That they call that self-sufficiency. So that's what we're really aiming for. And anybody have a guess what the self-sufficient wage for in Kansas is for the government? No? $12.02 an hour to be on your own, living. Thus, the reason why so many people work more than one job. You know, that's what they figure it takes to have a place to live, have a vehicle, feed yourself, so on and so forth. So, so that's one of the biggest reasons why we help to knock down those barriers so that you can live a self-sufficient life. So the law says that we're to provide 14 elements, which are elements just mean services, to our young adults. And I have this page here, and I'll hand it out to you, or you can get it at our table up front, but you'll notice quickly there's not 14 dots on there. And that's because some of them, we owe as a fairly new law, and literally they're still sending us definitions and how they want us to serve the youth with these elements. So we some of them we just kind of wrapped into one, and so we just kind of catch all. But so we do everything from work experiences and on-the-job training with youth in our program. And so our work experiences are typically up to 500 hours of paid work experience time, and we pay that at the ONET code wage. So ONET, it's a fabulous tool if you've ever been on it. Anybody familiar with ONET? Yeah, got one in the back. Go check it out, especially if you got a young person. You can go to town just looking at They're figuring out every career path, every career out there, and it's going to tell you the knowledge, skills, abilities, how much school you got to have, how much you can expect to make, all the way from the lowest entry level point clear up till you've hit the top of the pay scale. So it's a great tool. It's a great opportunity for career exploration. So keep that in mind. But anyway, we go by the ONET wage for entry level, so they're not getting paid minimum wage. There's very few jobs on ONET that pays a minimum wage. Most of them are like $7.80, $8, $9, $10 an hour. So, and that's everything from working in an office setting to mowing the golf course. I mean, we've got all kinds of employers, even here in El Dorado, that we work with for work experiences. So you got a youngster that is 17, 18, 19, clear up to 24, but they have 0 to 1 or 2 very short-term experiences working. This might be a great opportunity for them to work 4 to 6 months, have something to put on their resume that means something. Not just means something, but it's a little more fruitful in that it shows they went every day, they had an evaluation, so on and so forth. So it's a great opportunity for a young person to really learn what work is. And also, I mean, and we treat them just like an employee, no matter where we've got them working. So it's a great opportunity. We also do leadership development. Most of our leadership development is actually our work readiness piece of the classes. That's usually about a week long, 20 to 24 hours depending. And that's when they're really going to learn all the soft skills. That's when they're going to work on that resume, get it looking really good, practice interviewing skills, do some self-reflection, what their strengths are, things that they could work on, just how to be, citizens and manage the system, et cetera, and what to expect. So we hope to someday have some more things like on stewardship, community service related things. But right now, most of our leadership development really is that learning how to work piece before going out on the job. And we always have them do that class before we put them in a work experience, even though they may have had quite a bit of it before. Most of them, if they've done a resume, they no longer have it, they can't access it, they lost the thumb drive. There's always something. So it's always good to have. Plus, if they recently graduated high school, now they've graduated, so that it already needs updated. So it's good to do. Financial literacy, we do that piece. Career exploration, that's a big one. Supportive services, so bus passes, fuel assistance, child care assistance. If they're out on their own trying to make it, we can do rent assistance, utilities assistance, car repairs. I mean, the whole point, and not everybody, it's just like you don't just walk in and somebody says, I need car repairs. You need to be participating in one of these other services. Because the whole point, again, is knocking down barriers. If you can't get somewhere, that's a barrier. If you've got a kid already and, you have no place to take them, I mean, again, those are barriers. So we're really trying to negate that so they don't quit. We don't want them to quit what they've already started. Tutoring and study skills. Even high school graduates, we find, are still lacking in basic reading and math skills. So let's say that they're really wanting to go get some training or occupational skills training at one of the local community colleges, etc. What's the very first thing they're going to do at the college? Anybody?
Fill out paperwork.
Fill out paperwork and then assessments, testing. Okay? Most people, you tell them they're going to take a test, they kind of panic. They don't do well, and then they're in a bunch of remedial classes that they're paying for that do, really kind of slows them down, maybe. So, if we're sitting with a young person, we're doing, case managing them, they've already got some of those fears. Maybe they didn't do that great in math in high school, but they know they're going to have to do this AccuPlacer test. We can put them in I mean, even Butler Community College, their adult ed classes are also to prepare for college and for taking those tests, those assessments, to really save time down the road. So it's a good opportunity to take advantage of some tutoring and study skills. So that's one of the services. Adult mentoring, those are usually one-on-one, at least a year. We find a lot of our kiddos don't have very many positive role models in their life, so we like to be able to offer that as needed. Adult secondary school, so that's those that still need to get that high school diploma. We work with tons of adult ed programs throughout Wichita. We got Cowley, Butler County, Pratt. So we're working with all the community colleges, WATC, Goodwill, Next Step, and even Cancel, which is a privately owned GED center. But we work with all these to help them get their high school diploma, GED and high school diploma, which is the same thing. So, and we have pretty good outcomes with that, since we're helping knock down all those other barriers that typically keep them from attending and going. And since I'm on this, I'll go ahead and stop and tell you some of the reasons why our kiddos are successful is we have incentives built into our program. So let's say it is a person attending for their high school diploma. When they finish that, if they're in high school and they finish, because sometimes we do enroll some in-school youth, so if they finish their high school diploma regular, and they bring us to us, bring their certificate to us, we give them $100 or $100 at Walmart or whatever. When we get these kids with they're trying to get their GED, we put them on some systems that kind of help. It's almost like tutoring. They're working through it, but every time they raise a level on this key train assessment, they get a $25 gift card. And we've had some come in and go 4 levels in a day because they're there for 6 hours working on it. And the key train is what we give people before they take their work ready assessment. So it's really helps them. And then when they go to do their actual GED tests, we give them, every time they pass one of those 4 GED tests, we give them $50. Because they could take their first one because they're confident about that one, but it may be another 6-8 months before they go on to take some of the other ones. And it's just to keep them moving forward. We don't want them to stop just because they passed one or give up. So incentives are a big help with that. And we offer incentives for, let's say you go get your CNA. That's $100. Anything that's a nationally recognized credential, we incentivize because that just boosted your likelihood of employment by a lot. So that's what that's about. So occupational skills training. We can literally help scholarship up to $12,500 for short-term training in a demand occupation. So every year our board decides what's a demand occupation in our local area, which this is, it's a big deal because that creates the training list, things that people can go into training for. And it's a lot of the popular stuff. It's going to be a lot of the manufacturing, for aviation or anything. We're in the Midwest, we make a lot of things. Healthcare, clear up to nurse, a full-on nurse. Anything that you can do in 6 semesters. All right, 6 semesters. We can, as long as it's a demand occupation, we can assist with if they're in our program. So again, that's a lot of money that we can invest in each student, as long as they can show that they can do it. They have to take that AccuPlacer and show that they can do it, or get their work ready certificate, which shows they get a silver level. Then we'll put them in training. We don't want to put them in something that they're likely to fail. That's above maybe what they can handle. But then we also get really surprised at what these young people can do. So it's always awesome watching them go out there and achieve. Really awesome. So guidance and counseling. We find a lot of our youth need that. They really need to talk to somebody that's not their parents, not their friends, and really get that guidance. entrepreneurial skills training. We offer the Ice House program. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that program. It's really cool, really unique. It really is engaging and really shows what it's like to be your own boss and how to communicate with others and network. So it's a great opportunity. And then the rest of them are all have to do with all the other stuff I've already mentioned. So good stuff, big thing there. So you're thinking, okay, well, how does somebody, what are the requirements to even get in this program? Well, I mentioned that we're looking at mostly the out-of-school youth population. So A, they've dropped out, or B, they've graduated and still need assistance. If they're in a program that's still connected with the school system, like Project Search, something like that, we have to wait until they're done with that program to enroll them, unless we're doing some kind of special project. We work hand in hand with CPRF a lot for their School of Adaptive Computer Business Fundamentals program. So we do some of those enrollments every once in a while, but the law itself really limits the amount of in-school youth we can enroll based on the percentages that allow us to spend, etc. What else do I want to say about this? So 16 to 24. So the barriers. The nice thing about WIOA, they really took out income. So that made it nice. So we're looking for one barrier to education and employment. So that could be basic skills deficient. So maybe graduated high school, when we test them, they're testing below a 9th grade level still, which happens more often than you would think. Our high school graduates technically aren't ready for 10th grade. So let's see here. Pregnant or parenting, offender, aged out of foster care or kind of transitioning out of foster care. So independent living. Have a documented disability. So an IEP that states what the disability is, that will work. If that's lost, let's say they're 20, don't have the IEP anymore, that's fine. Just we can give you the piece of paper, you just get a written statement from your physician, and you're ready to go. And again, income won't come into play because with a disability, we consider you a family of one. So the student themselves, unless they're working somewhere, making a lot of money, then they would qualify. Homeless, runaway, or just a high school dropout. Once we have that come through a dropout, they instantly qualify for the program. So we can really serve a lot of youth through these barriers. So, and when I say 24 years old, clear until they turn 25. We just have to enroll them and have them in this service before they turn 25 years old. So if you're out, you're working with families, or you're thinking about maybe some of your family members, you know, who's in the basement playing video games all day and not out working and not being productive, send them down to the Workforce Center. We're just down the road, just past the YMCA, by the Dollar General there. Send them down. Darcy is my case manager. She's great. She needs some more kids on her caseload. So yes.
Do you have to have an appointment for the initial?
No, you can just walk in. That would be fine. You can call if you want. That way, in case there's somebody there or she has an appointment, she can let you know that. But you know, just come on in. Because the work. Oh, go ahead.
Do you work with vocational rehab?
Folk rehab, yes. We'll often have somebody come to us that is working with folk rehab. They offer a lot of the same services, but it could be something where we're splitting costs, or we're able to provide something that they can't. Like, I'm not sure they can do the paid work experiences. And I know that's a big thing. They can do the really short term, 4 or 5 day, what do they call those? Yeah, like shadows, but I don't think they do the paid work experience. And so many of them, that's what they want. They want to make money. You know, it's amazing how much the attitude changes when they're going to make some money. And others, they just want to, they just want to be like everybody else and have a job and those kind of things, so they're happy. So, but I mean, we do serve a lot of our youth have a disability. A lot of them have 4 of these barriers. So, yeah. You guys have any other questions? Or I have some of these that I was kind of reading off of here. They're also out at our booth, at the Workforce Center booth. Let me see what time it is. 4:40? Okay. One other thing we're doing this summer, and I don't know if El Dorado's doing it yet or not. I know Dr. Kroll at the college and some of the other leaders here in El Dorado were looking to do this with us, but it's our youth employment project. This is an opportunity for youth where they don't have to be qualified for our WIOA youth program, federal. This is just summer, 4 or 5 weeks, do a work experience, get paid, do our workshops, our essential skills workshops that we offer through the Workforce Center. We they come in at 9, they stay till 4, we feed them pizza. They leave with a certificate that's signed by the mayor of Wichita and our local workforce board chair. Employers, the Chamber of Commerce, Business Journal has been running tons of promotion stuff for us. So we're really letting the businesses know what we're doing with these youth. So when a youth has that on their resume or tells them, hey, I earned my essential work skills certificate, businesses know that kid is, been through the soft skills and those kind of things, and is coming into them for their first job a little more maybe prepared than somebody that is just walking in off the street. So we're hoping we get a lot of youth hired this summer, either through us placing them or we're having job fairs this summer as well. So I'll make sure you guys get one of these. Again, they're out at our table too. So you might pay attention locally to see if they end up getting something going, or if we're going to run the workshops only, and youth can come in and participate in the workshop and get their essential skills certificate. It'll just depend. Either way, our WIOA kids will be working this summer. We have them placed at a lot of local businesses anyway, so some of the youth in El Dorado will be participating anyway. So you can see on there, it's got our next couple workshops, and I think, does it have the job fairs listed? Yes. They just gave me that. So, and the job fairs will be in Wichita, but we usually have 12 plus employers that are looking to hire youth. But maybe El Dorado will have one too. We don't know. But they just had that meeting late last week, so that would explain why I don't have a lot of information. All right, any final questions? Yes.
I may have missed this since I came in late. I apologize. You
That's
said
fine.
on the test, the AccuPlacer test, to qualify, they need to test at 9th grade or below.
Oh no, I was at that point. I was just talking about how one of the things we offer is tutoring and study skills training. It's one of the services, one of the elements we offer, and how it's good for anybody, whether they're trying to wrap up their GED or they're getting ready to go to college, but maybe aren't confident in math yet. It's just so they don't have to take a bunch of extra classes. It's so we could have them go to one of our adult ed providers that handle that, get them ready to take the AccuPlacer, etc.
Is there a minimum level they need to be able to test at?
Oh, for training?
Uh-huh.
It really depends on the program and the program entry requirements. We'd like to see them at that 9th grade level reading and math, no matter what they're doing. But we do have some exceptions for like CNA, because there's no high school graduation, there's no real requirements for a CNA. So we look at it as on a case-by-case basis, but for any kind of training, they have to have that, either do the AccuPlacer and test high enough to go into the program they're looking at. Or they can also take our Kansas Work Ready assessment and score at least a silver on that, because that is 9th, 10th grade level reading, math, and locating information. So we use either of those. We've even used, because some colleges, some places don't do those tests, those entry tests, but they'll use some other way to screen them. So we'll even take a letter sometimes, and then look at their some of their other scores or their grades in high. I mean, we'll look at everything. I mean, that's kind of what the case managers do, is just to make sure they're prepared. Because I mean, it's a big jump. It's a big difference.
But you do work with students who are not going on that track as well, or just for employability for
Oh yes.
other areas. That's
They
not
do
just-
not. When a kid comes in our program, they do not have to do every element we have. If they've graduated and their whole goal is, I just want to get a job in this. These are my skills. They know what they're good at. As long as they can get a job without the certification, then yes. But we will try to influence them to get a certification in something, just because it's easier to become employed when you have the tools. The more tools we can put in their belt, the better. Because in the end, it's all about employment. That's what we're judged on. That's why they give us the money. So, anything else? I don't know if we went over time. I tried to keep it short, but there's a lot to it. So,
Can I ask one more question?
yes. Go ahead.
Your essential work skills seminars, are those offered like during the year if I want to bring students to that, like a class?
Perhaps we usually start after the first. We started. I can give you the name of our community advisor there, and we can do that.
Okay.
We send people out year-round to do stuff like that. It may not be exactly everything we do during the summer, but we've also brought in whole busloads of kids and sponsored them all day,
Okay.
right there at our center, just so they can learn what the Workforce Center is, what it does, because we have so much going on. So. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks for all the wonderful questions.